Top 3 things that you should never do as a leader. Hi, I'm Jules T and welcome to my channel on communication and leadership. So one of the common mistakes that first-time managers newly promoted from an individual contributor role is to micromanage. So one of the very easy to fall into traps is that you think that you're so good in what you did in the past as an individual contributor, now being a manager, and you're seeing those new staff or junior staff making mistakes, and you want to actually correct them, tell them what needs to be done because you have done this for many years, for many times, you're so used to it, you know the best practice. I want you to hold that thought in your head before you even react to it, because one of the things that may have forgotten is that you were once in their shoes before, being a junior employee, not knowing anything, and you have your manager being overbearing, telling you what you need to do. That feeling, do you remember how it feels like? Now you're the manager. It's time to actually let your staff make the mistakes. Sometimes being a first-time manager, you want things to be perfect. You know that there are better ways to do it, and you can just do it and get the results within minutes. Why do I need to guide the staff to go through an hour-long process just to get the results where I can do it in minutes? That's one of the common misconceptions from managers, that they think it's better that they handle it themselves. At the end of the day, the busiest people are actually the managers themselves, being hands-on on the operational work and leaving nobody to helm the leadership position. There's no captain steering the boat, and the whole team is lost because the managers all involved into the operations and no one's overseeing the team. So one of the things that you really need to be aware and be alert and to have this self-awareness over yourself is to know that you don't need to be everywhere. You need to step out from that operational role into your manager's position and lead the team to where they're supposed to go. So one of the rules that I would encourage you to remember is, so long that the team member is doing 85% of what is not what is required to be done, then it is enough. They do not need to perform 100%. So that is one of the common mistakes that most managers make, because they want things to be perfect, but in reality everyone is different and everybody does things in different ways. So long they are fulfilling most of the tasks, then the other 15% should be something that they can decide on their own, so long the main goal is achieved. Mistake number 2 that most managers make, most leaders make, is to think that they have all the answers. Because you have gone through 20 years of this process, you know everything in and out, and why do I need to listen to some junior? So that is one of the common misconceptions that managers have. You see, now when you are sitting in the role of a leader, you are no longer close to the operations. You are fully dependent on your staff to tell you what's happening on the ground. They are your hands and your feet. So you need to learn to trust them, to ask them the right questions, so that you know that the ship is going into the right direction. How are things going and how are you managing this? How's the situation there? Get updates from your team instead of going down to see and ensure everything in its place, because you as a captain, you are supposed to be up there in your navigating role, navigating the ship into the right direction. Then the third mistake that most managers make, they like to complain. This is one of the biggest mistakes that many managers make, because in the past you were in the individual contributor role, and there will be times that you feel frustrated with your stakeholders, your customers, that you are unhappy working with, the frustrations, and it feels so easy that you can just spill out your feelings, just tell your friends about it, and it feels all okay. But can you imagine yourself as the leader right now? For example, if you are a coach of a football team and you go out to your team and tell them, "Oh, it's so hot outside." Can you imagine how your football players would think? My coach complaining that it's hot outside? Or a parent who complains to the child, "Are we done with this yet? I'm so tired." So what kind of impression that you're trying to give to your team? If the captain of the ship is always complaining about this and that, it will seem that the captain has no control on what he's doing. And it would really shaken the trust of the team members, because they think that, hey, this captain seems not to know what he's doing, seems not to be in control, and that would be a waiver of trust. The most important is to kick that bad habit of complaining. Instead, step in the shoes of an inspiration, to be an inspiration to your team. Motivate your team to do well in what they're doing. Tell them that, yes, this is the direction that we are going. You're doing a good job. Keep it up. Hey, we can fine-tune certain things. And then I think that will be on track to reach our destination. Once you're able to gain the trust and you're able to motivate the team to do what they're doing, they will be happy in their roles, and they have the confidence that their leader is able to bring them to where they're supposed to be going. So just a recap again, 3 mistakes not to make as a leader. Number 1 is to not micromanage your team. Leave it to your team to run it. Trust in the team. Number 2, never assume that you have all the answers, because now you need to trust that your team are your hands on your feet, that they are able to tell you what's the situation on the ground. You need to start to trust them so that they'll be able to trust your leadership. Number 3 is don't complain, reduce the complaining, instead be a source of inspiration to your team. With these 3 tips, I hope that it will help you to make your life as a leader a much more smoother one, that you will enjoy your leadership role, leading your team to success. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you for supporting this channel.